Welcome back. Now, we all love playing tourist when we're abroad, and it seems our Laura is no exception.
Yes, she's once again disembarking the celebrity reflection to check out one of the most iconic buildings on the planet. Over to you, Laura.
Welcome back to the Tuscan coastline. I'm spending the weekend on board the Celebrity Reflection. Yesterday, I visited one of the world's most famous buildings when I arrived in the northern Italian city of Pisa. Antonella, one of the highlights so far from this wonderful cruise that we're on has to be arriving here in the town of Pisa and, more importantly, coming into Miracle Square.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a hugely significant and famous landmark in between us, but there's so much more to see here. Tell us about the square.
First of all, I would like to tell you why it is called the Miracle Square. In fact, no miracles happened. The miracles are the sights. An Italian poet a long time ago, in the year 1910, defined these monuments miracles. They were too beautiful to have been made by human hands. That's why the Miracle Square. And the miracles are four. Everybody I know comes for the Leaning Tower, but the miracles, the other monuments, are awesome. The oldest miracle in the square is the cathedral, dating back to the year 1064, such an ancient building. Then the second building we built here, we constructed here, was the baptistry in the year 1153. And then the movie star, the Leaning Tower. Of course, it was not meant to be a Leaning Tower. It should have been just the regular bell tower, because every cathedral, every church must have a bell tower. And it's a very old lady. She dates back to the year 1173. And finally, the fourth miracle is the cemetery, dating back to the year 1277. So all these monuments are medieval, very ancient, because Pisa, a long time ago in the Middle Ages, was such an important town, a maritime republic like Venice, Genoa, and Amalfi. And even if those buildings are religious symbols, they also had to be political symbols. So we had to show off our wealth this way. So the bigger cathedral, the wealthier the town was.
Everyone knows that the tower is leaning to one side, but people may not know the cathedral also leans. So it's not just the tower.
And no, it's not just the tower, because Pisa was a port a long time ago. It was a maritime republic, so it was much closer to the sea. So you can understand that the subsoil here is very watery, muddy, sandy. It's very soft. And these buildings are completely made of marble, so they're very heavy. And that's why they all lean. So the cathedral leans westwards, the baptistry leans eastwards, and the Leaning Tower leans southwards.
It's very deceiving on the eye, and until you point out that the cathedral is leaning, now I can absolutely see the warped lines. I wouldn't have known. It's not as obvious as the tower. So talk to us about the safety of the tower. Presumably, if the soil is less dense and less concentrated and solid, the structure is going to lean. And yet it has stayed at that point, or does it keep moving?
Let me tell you something, the tower started leaning immediately. By the leaning side of the tower, there used to be a lake. So he made only 3 floors, the foundations and 3 floors. And one morning, he went to see his tower, and the tower was leaning already. So he apologized, he ran away, and he was never seen again.
Really?
That's why we don't know his name. It's amazing. It's one of the most famous buildings in the world, and we don't know who made it.
So we don't know the architect's name because he did a legger.
Exactly. So, and of course, and now we consider it an awesome building, but in the past it was a mistake.
When were the top few stories at it?
Yeah, we had to wait exactly 100 years. So in the year 1273, another architect found the courage to finish the tower. And he was very smart. He realized that the tower was already heavy, even if it was only half of it, but we had to balance the weight. So he made higher columns on the leaning side and shorter on the other side. And the top is not right in the center of the tower, but it goes northwards, and the tower leans southwards. But time passed, and in the year 1990, we were really worried and scared because the tower was leaning too much. The problem was the water on the ground. It was a giant with clay feet, so we had to drain the water from the leaning side. And we made special machineries for the leaning tower. We drained the water from the leaning side. And because it was leaning too much, two big cranes pulled the tower in the opposite direction.
Really?
For 11 years. Finally, in 2001, but finally we declared we succeeded. Probably you're thinking, are you sure it still leans? But of course we didn't want to make it straight. We wanted to make it safe. And because we pulled it the other way for 11 years, now it leans a little bit less. We gained 50 centimeters, but it is a lot because now the tower looks much younger. It looks exactly as it used to be 2 centuries ago, and it is absolutely safe.
Antonella, what an incredible story. What a feat of engineering. And so today, after all of the renovation process, does it still move a tiny bit each day, each month, each year?
No, we found a solution, and it'll be safe and sound for sure for other 2 centuries.
Of course, I couldn't visit Pisa without attempting to get the ultimate tourist snap. And with a little direction from Antonella and a very patient crew, we finally managed it. After spending a lovely few hours ambling around Miracle Square and enjoying all that Pisa has to offer, it was time to return to the celebrity reflection, where I sought out the perfect place to unwind after my adventures. If after a full day of sightseeing you fancy a little bit of you time on board, there's always the Canyon Ranch Spa, and it's bliss.
Adesso guardandoti, io vedo in te tutto l'amore.
I really enjoyed my few hours at Pisa, well worth the visit, and actually quite surreal to finally see the Leaning Tower of Pisa in person. Don't worry guys, of course I've bought you plenty of souvenirs, and I'll be sure to bring them back into you when I get home.
What a massage! You give me a massage there.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't Laura.
Oh my God.
That was her stunt double, was it?
We don't get that here,
What
do
a
we?
lovely way to finish
You
off.
had a
day
massage
of-
yesterday after the show.
Thanks for that sign, by the way. It's still a bit tense here.
I'll sort it later on.